Well, hey kids. So the other day I was complaining about having to do the 100-mile dash down to Wasilla and back so that I could pick up the heat lamp for the chickens. Well, that's nothing compared to the little drive I'm on today, a little road trip. Today I am driving up to the North Pole. That's right, I'm driving up to the North Pole to see Santa. And actually visiting a farmer up in the North Pole, if you can imagine such a thing. True enough, gonna go up there and visit a farmer in the North Pole and pick up some piggies. So where I live, I'm about maybe just a little under 300 miles from the farmer up here by the North Pole. And so I'm driving 600 miles today, a little round trip, 600 mile, which, you know, in Alaska, yeah, it's a long drive, but you know, it's from us to the big city. I mean, that's where it is. We're 300 miles from Fairbanks, and you know what? Between here and Fairbanks, there ain't much. It's all woods. See, that's what it looks like out the window. Just trees. Here, that's what the road up here in Alaska looks like. Now, as I get up here about another 50, maybe 100 miles, I'll run out of trees. I'll be out in the tundra. And this highway cuts across the tundra for quite a ways, and then we'll find our way into Fairbanks. I'll be there around noon today, leaving here at 6 a.m. and should be up there about noon today. I have to stop at Cold Spot Feeds, the feed store up there, and pick up some feed, and then swing over by the farmer and pick up the hogs, and then head back to Grandpa's farm. So, you know, up here in Alaska, we don't think much about driving long distances. Everything is kind of a long distance. You know, I'm 100 miles north of Anchorage, 50 miles to the nearest Walmart, just the way life is. My choice. I could live closer if I wanted to. Don't necessarily want to live that close to all them people. Kind of like having my 80 acres out in the woods. But we'll see. Sorry about the camera bouncing up and down, but you know, this road isn't that great of shape. So, a little bit of perspective, you know, I'm originally from the East Coast. I was actually born and raised in New York on Long Island, which is where I learned that I don't like to be around that many people all the time, because in New York, you're there. You and 3 million people in no space at all, so. I mean, in New York, a really big piece of property is a couple acres. Wow, that's a big piece of land. Here, you know, a couple acres is nothing. So, but when I lived in New York on the East Coast, I would drive to Ohio. Our family had property in Ohio, and that was an all-day drive. You know, we get up early in New York, and we would drive all day, and we would get to Ohio. And I was thinking to myself, yeah, it's about the same kind of mileage I'm going to do today. Like driving from New York to Ohio. So for those of you in the lower 48, you know, think about that. It's, I drove across New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and into Ohio. And Pennsylvania is a long state. So here I am in Alaska, and I'm not even getting anywhere close to leaving the state, driving from where I live just up to Fairbanks. Not even making much of a dent in driving across Alaska. Yeah, everybody in Texas says how Texas is so big. Well, if Alaska were to divide itself into two, split itself into two, Texas would be the third largest state in the United States. That's how big Alaska is. It's incredible. Incredible state. So anyhow, on my way to go get Piggies early this morning, thought I'd drop in and say hey. Look at that, huh? you an idea what the view looks like up here on this drive. That's Denali the Great One over there. You can see a little bit of the tundra. This property here where we're driving through is just about an hour or so north of my farm here in Alaska. This is part of the Alaska Range. Caribou and moose country. Grizzly bears, black bears. Maybe a sheep or two. Mountain goats. Porcupines, foxes, coyotes, wolves. All live here. And all happily coexist. Except for the ones thinking that they're going to come to my farm and eat my chickens. Those I tend to discourage pretty quickly. But I guess they're more successful than I'd like for them to be. Anyhow, here's another view. Look at this. Right there in the center of the screen is Denali, the Great One. Mount McKinley. That's the Alaskan range over there. That's the mountain range that they run the Iditarod over. When they run Iditarod here in Alaska, that mountain range over there is the one they cross. They go from Willow up to Nome and back. They don't mush back, they fly back. It's 1,042 miles roughly, depending on what route they take. Pretty cool stuff. Anyhow, this is part of the view I have for my little 600-mile drive today to go get a couple pigs. That's Alaska for you. Here's a little bit of the view of the road I had to drive to go pick up the pigs. Thought you might want to take a look at that. That's the Alaska Range. I'm now heading south back towards the farm. But that's the view. I tried to zoom in a little bit. There's Denali, Mount McKinley, the Great One. A little bit of a view, what it looks like here on the road. Filming and trying to stay on the road at the same time, not a good idea. Anyhow, that's just part of the view that I've had while driving up here to go to Fairbanks, actually to go to Nome, or not to Nome, to North Pole. That's it. I drove all the way up into North Pole up by Santa's workshop to visit a farm up there that raises hogs, and that's where I picked up my pigs. So there are northern pigs. They're just cute as a button. Wait till you see them. They're red Duroc breed mixed with, they said Landrace and Yorkshire, but somewhere they got some spotted pig in there. Oh, they're red with black spots. Very cute. Anyhow, I gotta drive. Big truck in the road. Hey kids. Well, the big long drive is over. I drove all the way over to North Pole, Alaska and back. It was 4, 8, 9, almost 10 hours. Almost 10 hours on the road. Took me about 4 hours basically each way. But then I had a little running around to do while I was in Fairbanks. I had to go to the feed store and pick up some feed and stuff. So sorry about that, a little dust on there. So let me introduce you to our newest additions. There they are. Piggies. A farm simply is not complete until it has piggies
and a dairy animal. And we got to figure out the dairy animal. Now here's the thing. I got them in here. This is the old goat building. Does not have a roof yet. We had a temporary roof on there, but it was taken off to be replaced. I've got stuff made, trusses made to make a permanent roof. One of my projects, I guess, this coming week. But they're in here. They've got this shelter temporary to get them out of the weather. They got food and water. And there they are. One's a little darker than the other. They're both out of the same litter, I understand. Both females. One's sort of a red and black. The other one's almost a yellow and black. See if I can zoom in so you can see them a little better. Yep. So what we need to do now is figure out names. Oh, the yellow one's chewing on the red one's tail. Come on, guys. There's food over here. It was sort of funny in the car. Let me turn this around. Sorry. There we go. It was sort of funny in the car coming back from Fairbanks. Miss Lily would hear them in the dog crate in the back of the truck, and she'd make a little whiny noise trying to figure out what was grunting in the back. For the most part, they stayed pretty quiet. They did poop in the dog crate, so I had to deal with smelling that for the 4 hours on the drive home. But other than that, they did really good. They did real good. I was real impressed. So we got to figure out names. Red with black spots and sort of a yellow with black spots. Here they are again. Hey, piggies. What should I name you guys, huh? What should we call you guys? We got to come up with names for you. I'm prone to calling pigs things like bacon and pork chop and ham bone and, you know, that kind of stuff. But what do you guys think? I think I should let the grandkids maybe should suggest some names for them. Maybe the grandbaby should name them. Just keep in mind, at some point, like come around October or so, these guys will become hams and bacon. So they're not pets, they're livestock. And there is a difference. These guys are dinner, so we got to be very careful what we're feeding them. And what we are feeding them is an organic hog starter that we buy from the local mill here. We got a really good mill here in Alaska that makes up a lot of this stuff for people that raise their own food. It's nice to have a resource like that available. But I don't know, what should we call them? Very interesting. I picked them up all the way in North Pole. I'll show some footage coming back along the road. Road's just beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous drive up there and back. And hardly any traffic. Cruising along doing 70, 75 the whole way. Just made good time. And the farm up there where I bought these obviously needed the money, so I'm glad I drove all the way up there and bought them to help out that lady and her farm. But there you go. What are we going to name them, guys? Huh? The latest additions to the Grandpa's farm. Now we got to get some goats. That'll be the next thing. We've got ducks and chickens. I have geese and turkey on order. We'll be here within the month. Now we got to figure out a name for these two guys. Looks like they're going to have nice hams. They've got pretty good backs on them, so should have some good loins. Whether I do those into pork chops or cut them up into pork loin, do boneless pork loin, you know, flay them out. Not really big shoulders, so probably not going to have a lot of grind, not a lot of sausage. But still, they do look fit as a fiddle. The red one was a little mopey in the truck coming home. A little mopey. So I'm hoping they find this food over here. You know, maybe I should get in there and shoo them over this way. Let me go do that. Okay, Miss Lily's really not happy now, but I chased them to the other end of the pen, and they grunted and groaned and squealed. But guess what? They found the water and the food. And there's Miss Lily upset that she's not in here with us. Oh, sorry, Lily. These guys would be a little afraid of you. All right. Back out so we can gather. Oh, we're taking a bath, I see. Okay. Well, they both had a little bit of a drink. So they know where the water is now, and they figured that out. Now I'm just hoping they find the food. Come on, Red. Come on, Red. Get over there. He smells it. Smells the food. Oh, Lily's bothering him. He's looking over the top. It's sort of funny. She never came out to this goat building until I put these guys out here. And now it seems like she's just hanging out over here all the time. What's the matter, Lily, huh? Oh, they're so cute, aren't they? Huh? Aren't they so cute? Little piggy with big ears. Now these guys are a cross between a Duroc, a Yorkshire, and a Landrace. And boy, if you ask me, I think they got some old spot in there too. They're picking up that spots from someplace. I don't think the Durocs are usually all red or a two-tone with a stripe on them, and or maybe that might be another breed. Maybe I'm mistaken. And of course, Yorkshires and Landrace are usually all white pigs. So these guys look like they may be Duroc with some old spot maybe in them, which is great because they're both really good sized, good eating pigs. So that should make for some good chow. I specifically picked out these two guys. She had some all white ones there, which are just going to be those Yorkshire Landrace, which are sort of a commercial breed, bred for having a really long bacon, really long side. These guys don't have such a long side, but well guys, I'm gonna have to call it and go inside because I'm getting rained on. So more later.